Welcome back to Zombie Exodus Part 2 with me, Fraser Miller. That's my in-game name, so you don't know, stalk me on Facebook. That's already said in the last video. So, the last video, just to recap that, I'm Fraser Miller, brother of Emma, and we're military, and we hire out our services. We're training for a marathon, well, we were training for a marathon before the apocalypse happened, and I like to go to the gym. So that's basically as far as we got last episode. The episode will probably be about 10 minutes long each time, just to keep it fast and interesting for you guys. So there isn't just long, boring videos. Well, I hope they're not boring, I hope they're interesting for you guys. So why don't we just get back into it and hear me talk some more. You awaken to a heavy, nauseous feeling in your gut. The clock reads 8:03 p.m. Emma has not been home in hours. You plop down in the living room couch and flip on the television where a middle-aged anchorman reports. The CDC, via the White House, has announced over 20% of the world is infected with the virus Zeta. Reports are coming in from around the globe of a massive spread of this terrible infection that attacks the brain and nervous system, quickly disabling the victim, in effect reanimating the body of the affected. Moments ago we heard from Dr. Anthony Willis, who has treated the infected, and states how... Wait a second, if he's treated the infected, then shouldn't they have a cure then? Maybe not, but let's not question that. Treated the infected and stated they showed deterioration of the bone and muscle, a yellowing of the skin, lack of fine motor abilities described as a drunken walk, and inability to speak. Which is basically me, because it's been a few hours since I've had a drink, but I'll probably be walking around quite badly. And inability to speak, just in general, because I'm tired. So I'll probably be mistaken for a zombie and shot on sight, but hopefully not. We have a very short playthrough. Dr. Willis goes on to explain the virus affects primitive areas of the brain and acts as a parasite which rewires the nervous system of the host to take over functions of the body. Infected become aggressive, attempting to bite or otherwise injure others and pass on the virus. This just in, Governor Tate has declared a state of emergency in the National Guard have come to keep the peace in the streets and enforce a mandatory curfew of 9 p.m. Well, it's 9:03, so I've had like 57 minutes to go around the show and see what's hanging. You peer outside the apartment from 7 stories up. Noise crowds of people formed outside, sirens blare as police vans and cruisers skirt up and down streets, and news helicopters swarm overhead. It's not really a bad idea during an apocalypse to just attract them all to that one place. There's helicopters and lights and blaring, and live humans to eat. What? They're so stupid. You remember now the infection. It was only a few days ago when you first heard of the outbreak. Emma mentioned reports at the hospital were of a fatal, highly contagious virus spreading like a forest fire if the fire was doused in gasoline. The lights flicker and the television set dims and cuts off. Lights stream in through the apartment window, casting a golden glow through the air which fades in the recesses of the room. You hear a movement in the hallway outside of the apartment and rush to the door. All is silent. You wait and listen, pressing your ear to the hardwood surface. Silence. You move back to the television and flip the power on and off. Nothing. Well, of course the power's off, you stupid Fraser. The dim ambient light from outside coats the room. Time seeps by as you consider your next move. A sharp scratching noise seeps through the ceiling. Once, then twice. Metal scraping cement. You spin in a full circle. The sound comes from the floor above. The scratching builds into harsh screeches like a fork digging deeper and deeper into a styrofoam plate. The sound intensifies for several minutes and then ceases. Well, so I'm 7 floors up and there's a zombie right above me. Shit. The television pops back on. Pictures of the infected running through the streets across the globe cover the screen. Police and military attempt to subdue the creatures, now called zombies by the media. An announcer describes the macabre truth that infections are spreading rapidly and caution viewers to stay indoors at all costs. Well, if it's zombie inside your house, when you want to get out. But if stay indoors at all costs, you must obey the rules. From overhead you hear a loud thump and a crash of broken glass. An explosion of footsteps ring from the hallway, and several screams cut the air. You think of Emma, out in the city. If zombies are running around, rampage through the streets, uncontained by the police, what chance does she have? You need to reach her. There is no landline, and your cell phone is missing. So that always happens. Like, you really need your phone, and then it's just like you look around, it's not there. But then after a few hours, you don't actually need the phone. You find it like in your pocket or somewhere. Really stupid. She could be on her way back, but you've no way of reaching her from the apartment. Then again, there's nothing keeping you here, apart from a frickin' zombie outside the door. You change into jeans and a t-shirt and grab a quick sandwich and a glass of water. Well, personally I prefer a glass of milk with my sandwich, but never floats your boat. After eating, you realise a few items may come in handy should you need to leave, or your situation in the relative comfort of the apartment changes. You decide it is best to take. I have rifles and shotguns and everything. Jeez. Right, just to clarify, I haven't played this in like ages, so I don't really remember anything, which is good. Anything's like a surprise to me, but just so you know. So, pump action shotgun or revival. Let me assume it's assault rifle, probably. And then you never leave home without a good rifle. Especially if I'm just going to the supermarket, I bring it with me. So you sling it over your shoulder and grab a few clips of ammunition. 800 rounds per minute should do some damage in the apocalypse. One more item is all you take. The next thing you choose is flashlight. That's, well, food, clothes and water. Probably that'll be better actually. See, fearing you may decide to leave the city and be in survival mode, you quickly pack clothes, some non-perishable food, half a dozen bottles of spring water. Now it's time to make a decision. Emma is a smart, capable young woman, but it is your job to watch over her. You can head out and look for a phone, or just leave the building and find her in the city below. On the other hand, it may be best to learn more about the virus, and you could watch the news or search the internet while power is on. Search neighbouring apartments for a phone. You head into the hallway. Someone will let you use their phone to call Emma. There have to be others still in the building, behind locked doors. Finding your sister is the only priority. The lights flicker and cast an eerie glow in all around. Power fluctuates on and off. It's silent again. Way too silent. You head to the apartment. Antiques dealer or unknown. Probably antiques dealer. He seems to know him. You knock on the door, but you notice it's ajar. No light escapes the small opening. Static from a television and radio permeates the air. This is Arthur Connor's apartment, an antiques dealer who usually keeps his shop open late in the evening. Your sister mentioned him a few times, mostly to tell you to avoid him at all costs. Arthur is a quiet old, probably late 70s, and on the one occasion you'd meet him, about as friendly as a starving hyena. He wouldn't take too kindly to you being in his apartment without permission. So should I be mean, or should I keep my common courtesy? Keep out of his apartment, don't want to hear him whine. Especially if he's a zombie, don't really want to hear him screech. You sigh and close the door, not even wanting to call into the old man, and chance waking him and hearing an earful about privacy, staying out of people's personal space, and blah blah blah. You think you should check in the other apartment. You head to 7D unknown occupant. As you step towards the apartment, sounds resonates through the door, a loud male voice, repeated clicking noises, a constant electrical hum. You knock on the door, all goes silent. Moments pass, you listen and hear the rattling of locks and chains at the door, which springs open. A man in his early 20s answers the door, wearing a tie-dye t-shirt and faded blue jeans, with dark brown sandals and a full bushy blonde beard. Oh, I like beards. Big bushy one as well. He needs to have a shave. A blue wool knit hat is pulled tightly over his head. He leans out the door, looks left and right, and pulls you into the apartment. Inside is a geek's wonderland. Half a dozen laptops blinking, buzzing. In a row, a large plasma television with 8 different news channels tiled on the screen. Wires and cables in the walls, hanging from the ceiling and crisscross every inch of walking space. Dozens of open cans of Red Bull spread across various surfaces. Comic books and graphic novels strewn about. Lord of the Rings memorabilia set in a shrine near an open kitchen, and a dozen of movie posters covering sci-fi over the past 30 years. Hey, I'm Jason. Have a seat. Well, do you guys want me to do accents? Or do you prefer me having my normal voice the way through? Or should I make interesting accents or realistic accents for each character? You just tell me in the comments and I'll try and put them in the next few videos. He states through a raspy cigarette-soaked voice. This was raspy, so hey, I'm Jason. Have a seat. He states through a raspy cigarette voice and sits in a rolling chair positioned in front of a row of laptops. He taps away at a PC and yells at the screen. People are just rising from the dead all over the world. It's global zombie chaos. This is undead Armageddon. Hey Jason, I'm Fraser. I really need to phone. Do you have one I could use for a quick call? I'm not sure what you're trying to prove, asking me that, Jason says, shaking his head. Before I break your neck. Well, that's not very friendly. The amazing setup you have here. Never seen systems linked this way. Hey, I think I could borrow a phone real quick. Got my friend about this. Dude, like, got a phone? Shit, why is it always 20% battery when I'm actually recording here? Let's just plug it in here quickly. Wrong plug, god damn it. Sorry. Almost there. There we go. That always happens in the videos. Second video in a row, second video with 20% battery. I just need to call my sister to make sure she's okay. Jason removes an earbud from the ear. No, sorry. I was talking to my buddy. Debtor on VoIP. Trying to stay off the cell phone grid. No problem, I can use VoIP to call someone? As Jason flicks switches and taps on keys, the laptops turn off, as do the monitors and the television, and the lights dim. Jason moves to a side wall which looks like the most elaborate fuse box in North America, and pushes wires and fuse caps around. You see, this epidemic is underreported. Most of the Europe is already zombie fest, and there are millions of Asian zombies running about. These things aren't like the movies. They're even more vicious. You got to destroy their heads, or they get up more pissed than ever. A long shrieking noise echoes through the apartment. You and Jason freeze. The sound was not natural, not human, and not animal. You close your eyes to focus on the listening, but only hear the hum of the computers and your own rapid breathing. Jason runs to the door and presses his ear against it. His mouth opens with a wide grasp, but no sound imitates. He rushes towards you, grabs your shoulders, and begins pushing you to the door. Sorry, you gotta go. Before you have a chance to reply, Jason leads you to the door and closes it. You're standing in the hallway, alone once more. Well, I think this would be a good place to stop, because it's been like about 10 minutes, so I'll stop here and then put it back on to record the next episode for you guys to watch. So I'll probably be releasing videos probably every other day, maybe one on Wednesday, well probably one on Saturday, Monday and Wednesday probably. Just those 3 days out of the 7. Just make it even gaps, and that's when I have like fast internet and shit. So hopefully we'll do that for you guys. So hope you enjoyed watching, and come back for the next part.